If you are serving in the ADF, you are right now one of the most financially protected workers in this country. And that's the single biggest risk to your long-term wealth. Cost of living and interest rates are hammering most Australians at the moment. But if you're serving, it shouldn't be hitting you as bad as everyone else. Free medical and dental, no Medicare levy, uniforms and food, salary packaging, super contributions well above the civilian minimum, and a subsidised home loan through DHOAS. There's a word for what that comfort quietly breeds. It's complacency. It's not laziness, it's just being comfortable enough for long enough that paying close attention stops feeling necessary. Because these advantages shield you from the pressure everyone else feels. Nothing forces you to build a strategy. And the day the uniform comes off, just about every one of these benefits disappear at once, while your cost of living jumps up to meet everyone else's. I'm Wayne Bemmett. I served 20 years in the Royal Australian Navy and I'm the founder of National Service Financial. Unexpected medical discharge ruined a lot of my plans, but I lived this gap. So let's walk through the 6 advantages of what each is genuinely worth and the one thing to do with it now while you've still got it. Free medical and dental. Your medical and dental care is provided, no premiums, no gap payments, and for most households, private health and dental are 2 of the fastest rising costs there are. You've never had the budget for them, so you've never put a number on them. And something you've never priced is something you can't plan around. So a tactical step might be, work out what equivalent private cover would cost your household and decide deliberately where that money goes instead of letting it disappear into general spending. Number 2, Medicare levy. Most serving members are exempt from the Medicare levy. 2% of taxable income that nearly every other working Australian pays. That's not a rounding error. It quietly lifts your take-home pay above a civilian equivalence every pay for years. And because it looks like normal pay, it gets absorbed into everyday spending because you don't have to contribute. Tactical step, redirect even part of that 2% into potentially extra super or paying down some debt. Sustained over a posting or two, it's still there long after the exemption ends. 3, uniforms and food. Uniforms are provided, nature of the job. Depending on your postings, meals and accommodation may be covered as well. These look like the smallest items on your budgetary list, but they remove 2 of the most stubborn household costs, clothing and groceries, particularly if you're a seagoing sailor. The catch, your cost of living right now understates what it'll be in the day you're out. Your income may barely drop on discharge, but your expenses jump all at once. Here's a suggestion. Build a day one civilian budget now with a real clothing and food line. Compare it to today. That's the gap in the true cost of transition. Number 4, you have the ability to salary package. As ADF serving members, you have access to salary packaging. Arrangements like a novated lease that let you direct pre-tax salary towards certain costs and reduce your taxable income. Used properly, it's a genuine lever on your annual tax, and it's not just a perk. It's where membership is treating as set once instead of a structured worth reviewing. Track what this saving is worth each year and decide where it goes, rather than letting it blend into a lifestyle you can't sustain later. Number 5, exceptional contribution rates in military superannuation. This is the single biggest number on the list. If you're in ADF Super, your employer contributes 16.4% of your ordinary time earnings, against the civilian superannuation guarantee of 12%, which is effective 1st of July 2025. That 16.4% goes into an accumulation account in whatever option you've chosen, cash, income focused, My Super balanced, or the aggressive investment profile. So your outcome rides on both the rate and the investment setting. If you're on MSBS instead, which is close to new members since 2016, you contribute 5 to 10% of your super salary yourself. Defence adds a 3% productivity contribution, and the bulk of your employee benefit is a multiple on your final average salary by service length. 80% for 1 to 7 years, 23% for 8 to 20, and 28% beyond 20. One myth worth killing. Lifting your member contribution for 5 to 10% does not grow your employee benefit. It only grows your separate member benefit. Here's a step. On ADF Super, check your investment option actually matches your time frame. On MSBS, know your accrual band, and don't assume contributing more changes the employee benefit. Number 6, subsidised home loans, very popular. So through the Defence Home Owners Assistance Scheme, DHOAS, eligible members get monthly government subsidy toward the interest on an eligible home loan, with more entitlement the longer you serve. It's real assistance toward most people's biggest expense, but it's not set and forget. It has tiers, qualifying periods and conditions, and subsidy levels that move with interest rates. Understand what tier you qualify for and make sure the loan is actually attached and it's structured properly for your circumstances, not just whatever's easiest. And number 7, what this is actually worth in dollars. Most members can tell you their salary to the dollar, but not what their package is worth, because most of it never lands in their account. A line they can see. So let's put a number on, I guess. Use 100K as a salary. Medical and dental, around 3,700 a year, more with a family. No Medicare levy, which is about $2,000. Uniforms and food, roughly around about $1,500 to $3,000. Salary packaging benefits, up to $7,000 to $10,000 per year. Increases on ADF Super in return, an extra $4,400 a year from contributions, plus productivity benefits with MSBS. So benefits of DHOAS are up to around about $14,000 per year, just in the upfront, and most people receive this. And for the 4 years, nearly everyone gets, and you're already around the $11,000 to $12,000 a year on ADF Super. Bring in salary package and DHOAS, we're well past the $30,000, $35,000, maybe even $40,000. And that's before what used to be called, I guess, there's different allowances in the Defence Force. Seagoing allowance, frameworks for sea posting, maritime disability allowance, marine sustainability allowance, retention payments. There is a lot of extra allowances that simply add up that the general public don't get access to, which increase your bottom line. So here's a step. Don't use my $100,000 as an example. Pull up your own payslip, add your own version of this table, and what's the number a real strategy has to replace or convert before you discharge. On an ordinary salary, you could be sitting on $15,000, maybe $30,000 plus a year in a structural financial advantage, and none of it is permanent. It's tied to your uniform and your service, not to you. And that's the gap our soft landing financial strategy program is built to close. What you've actually got, what happens to each piece on discharge, and what needs to be in place first. And if you're within 12 months of discharging, or discharged in the last 2 years regular, or 3 years medically, you'll be entitled to put your Defence Force Transition Program contribution towards it. The link is in the description. So 6 advantages: free medical, dental, no Medicare levy, uniforms, food, salary packaging, super well above the civilian rate, and a subsidised home loan. And everyone is real, everyone is worth genuine money, and most expire with your service. But the real subject here was never the entitlements. It was complacency. Each of these entitlements is easy to overlook because they're good to you, they look after you. It's not a flaw in you, it's a flaw in the setup, and now you know it. Complacency doesn't announce itself, it just quietly runs on the clock in the background. Don't wait for the pressure everyone else feels to arrive before you plan for it. And one last thing, everything here assumes a straightforward discharge. However, a medical discharge looks completely different. I've lived it. Permanent impairment, incapacity payments, invalidity benefits, and stuff like the Douglas decision are some of the least reversible calls a veteran can ever make. That's its own video, so keep an eye for that coming shortly. It's time to make the most of your time in service financially. It's an honour to serve your country and excel in your chosen field. Work your way up the ranks and deploy with pride and distinction. But if you haven't got the basics right with your finances, with your conditions of service offering you a genuine advantage, what was it all for? I'm Wayne Bemmett. This has been Military Money.